The part nobody warned you about. You cut back on sugar, started moving more, stopped eating late, and your belly still did not get the memo. Every morning, your body gets a fat storage signal the moment you wake up. The Japanese figured out a simple way to shut it down, and it starts before breakfast. The thing most people do first. Some mornings you wake up feeling like your body spent the night losing a bar fight. Your mouth is dry, your back is stiff, and before your eyes are even fully open, you're already thinking about coffee like it's the only reason civilization still exists. That first cup feels less like a drink and more like a rescue mission. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body wakes up already low on fluid. You've been breathing all night, not drinking, and losing water the whole time. That matters because dehydration is a physical stress signal on its own. And when you pour caffeine into a body that is already running dry, you can push that morning cortisol rise even higher. That's one reason some people feel wired, shaky, hungry, and oddly drained all at once before the day even starts. This is where a specific Japanese practice comes in called Japanese water therapy. The idea is simple. Drink water first thing in the morning before anything else. In this routine, it's warm, not ice cold. Some people add a squeeze of lemon, some add a tiny pinch of salt. The point is not to turn your kitchen into a wellness experiment. The point is fluid before stimulation. That helps digestion wake up, supports blood volume, and takes the edge off that rushed, restless feeling right out of the gate. And once the body has that, the next step works on something most people completely ignore until the damage is already done. What your morning has been missing. You wake up tired even though you went to bed at a decent hour, and somehow it still feels like your body forgot to charge overnight. Your knees are talking, and your brain does not fully join the meeting until at least the second half of the morning. That's when a lot of people start blaming age, like turning 50 means you're supposed to wake up feeling like an old printer warming up. But that sluggish feeling is not always just age. A big part of it can be your body clock. Real outdoor light early in the day helps set that clock, also called your circadian rhythm. That rhythm controls when you feel alert, when you feel hungry, how your hormones release, and how well you sleep that night. When morning light hits your eyes, it signals your brain that the day has started, which helps build serotonin during the day and melatonin later at night. Better sleep means a healthier cortisol pattern the next morning, too. That's one reason this Japanese routine often includes stepping outside early, even briefly. It sounds like nothing, but that light signal helps organize the rest of the day's hormones in a way no supplement has been able to fully replicate. And if your sleep has felt lighter or shorter than it used to be, next may be the part you've been getting completely backwards. The fix that backfires. A lot of people hit their mid-40s and suddenly feel like their get up and go got up and left without texting. You used to bounce out of bed. Now you need at least 2 alarms, a bathroom trip, and a brief moment of staring at the ceiling before you can commit to being a person. So when someone says hold off on stimulants in the morning, it sounds genuinely offensive. But there is a real reason for it. When you first wake up, your brain is still clearing out adenosine, the chemical that builds up during sleep and makes you feel groggy. Think of adenosine like the pressure gauge on your tiredness. Caffeine does not empty the tank, it just puts a piece of tape over the needle so you cannot see it anymore. Your body can flush adenosine out naturally within about 60 to 90 minutes, but only if you let it. If caffeine comes in too early, it covers up that grogginess instead of clearing it. Then when it wears off mid-afternoon, all that built-up adenosine floods back at once and you crash hard. That crash reads as stress. Cortisol can rise, cravings follow, and the same cycle repeats the next day. Giving the brain time to clear on its own leads to more stable energy without the afternoon collapse. What most people are doing in that same morning window is quietly making all of this worse. The healthy habit that can make it worse. A lot of people wake up and decide the best thing they can do is hit a hard workout before the day gets away from them, because it feels like the kind of move a healthy, disciplined person is supposed to make. Then reality shows up. Your body is still trying to figure out what year it is. For a lot of people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, that kind of workout is not waking the body up so much as declaring war on it. The issue is not that exercise is bad. The issue is timing. Cortisol is already rising in the early morning to help wake the body up and get energy moving. Stack a high-intensity workout on top of that, and you can drive stress hormones even higher. Some people feel great for about 30 minutes from the endorphins, then end up more fatigued later, hungrier, and more likely to reach for sugar because the body feels like it survived something. Here is where this connects directly to belly fat. When cortisol stays elevated, your body is biologically locked out of its fat-burning zone. It is in storage mode, not release mode. By lowering that morning spike, you're not just feeling better, you're finally giving your body permission to access and flush that first layer of stubborn visceral fat it has been holding onto for survival. and the Japanese alternative makes that possible without adding more stress to the pile. The part that looks too easy to work. A simple walk does not sound impressive, which is probably why so many people overlook it. Everyone has been trained to think that if something is not hard, sweaty, or at least a little bit punishing, it probably isn't doing much. Meanwhile, your body is asking for one calm decision before 9 a.m. instead of another heroic act that ends with sore hips and a justified trip through the drive-thru. Walking works for reasons beyond calorie burn. It helps muscles use glucose, supports circulation, and lowers stress without pushing the body further into alarm mode. There is also something specific happening in the brain. When you walk outside and the environment moves past you on both sides, it creates a visual pattern called optic flow. Research has found this can help settle the parts of the brain tied to threat and stress response. The nervous system starts to read the situation as safe. That shift matters more than most people realize. A body that feels safe behaves differently than one that feels like it's under pressure. It manages blood sugar better, holds on to less fat, and makes better decisions about hunger and energy. 20 to 30 minutes outside does more than most people give it credit for, and it doesn't cost anything or require a membership. The thing most people do in that same morning window undoes a surprising amount of progress without them ever knowing it. The breakfast nobody talks about, savory over sweet. Most people reach for something sweet in the morning without even thinking about it. Cereal, toast, yogurt with fruit, a granola bar on the way out. All of it triggers an insulin spike early in the day, which signals the body to store energy rather than burn it. And for people already dealing with belly fat, that early sugar hit can set a pattern that follows them through every meal. Traditional Japanese breakfasts look completely different. Rice, miso soup, fish, fermented vegetables, eggs. Just protein, salt, and fiber before the sugar. That combination stabilizes blood sugar coming out of a fast, reduces mid-morning cravings, and keeps cortisol from spiking in response to a glucose crash. You do not have to eat miso soup every morning. The shift is just protein and fat before sugar, not after. And while you're building that buffer before your first bite, there's one more thing most people hand to the wrong part of their brain before they even finish chewing. The tiny screen running your morning. A lot of people do not even get out of bed before grabbing their phone, and by the time their feet hit the floor, their brain has already been hit with texts, headlines, emails, weather, bills, and somebody their age doing handstands on a beach for reasons no one asked for. Then they wonder why they feel tense before breakfast and tired by noon. That little screen is not easing you into the day. It is drop-kicking your nervous system through a glass door. The brain prefers a calm ramp into wakefulness rather than a flood of things to react to. Every alert and notification triggers a small stress response. For people already dealing with poor sleep, stubborn weight, or that low-grade edgy feeling that follows them around all day, that early hit of chaos can set a higher stress baseline for hours. Dr. Anna Lemke from Stanford, who wrote Dopamine Nation, has explained that early stimulation raises the bar for what the body considers normal, which means more stimulation is needed just to feel steady, and more stress means more cortisol. The Japanese morning approach builds a buffer instead. A little time between waking up and letting the outside world in can change how reactive the whole day feels. It is not about being unplugged forever. It is about letting the brain finish loading before you open every tab at once. When all of these pieces work together, something bigger starts to happen that none of them could pull off alone. The pause before the plan. There is a concept in Japanese culture known as stillness in the midst of activity. It is not meditation in the formal sit on a cushion sense. It is just a few minutes of doing nothing on purpose before the day gets loud. No phone, no podcast, no planning out loud, just sitting with a drink, looking out a window, or standing outside. That brief stillness is not wasted time. It gives the nervous system a chance to settle before the demands start stacking. A body that starts the day calm does not grip as tightly to fat stores, does not read every inconvenience as a threat, and does not need 3 cups of coffee just to feel like a functioning adult. The morning you've never actually tried. Wait, before you think this is just another lifestyle list, look at the math. Most people spend 90% of their morning fighting their own biology. Dehydrated body, early caffeine, intense exercise, phone in hand before the brain is even online. Every one of those is a stress signal. And a body stacking stress signals before 8 a.m. is a body that stays in fat storage mode all day. What happens when you stop fighting it? The answer is not adding more to your morning. It is removing the habits that are quietly telling your body to stay in survival mode. Fluid before stimulation, light before screens, gentle movement before intensity, a little stillness before the noise. Each one sends the same biological signal. You are safe, the threat has passed. You do not need to hold on to every calorie like the power grid is going down. This is not a routine built for people with perfect schedules. It is a set of small shifts that work with your biology instead of against it, which is exactly why people who stick with it often feel different within days before they ever see it in the mirror. If your belly fat has been hanging on even when you feel like you're doing everything right, your first hour may be where the real answer has been hiding the whole time. Subscribe for more science-backed strategies that fit real life, and hit like if this finally made the biology click.